Problem number 6. So here we have an array of numbers where one element is the sum of other elements, and we just need to split that array into two subarrays, and in one subarray, which will the size of 1, we'll put the sum of other elements, where into the other subarray we will put the other elements. So how are we gonna do this? First of all, we will need to find the element which is the sum of all other elements, and one way is to do it just to calculate the sum of all elements in the array. For example, here we have an array of following numbers like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, where 13 is the sum of all other elements, and in our function we have to find this 13 and just to split it into other subarray. For example, subarray 1, whereas other elements we have to split into other subarray like sub2. So as I told you, one way is to find it. First of all, just calculate the sum of all elements in the array, and after it just subtract each element from the sum and see if the element is equal to the result. If it's equal, so it will mean that it's the sum of all other elements. So how it will work for this particular array, it will be like this. So we have sum of 62, it is the sum of all elements in this array, and at first step we'll just subtract 62 by each element, like 62 minus 1, it will make 61. Is it equal to element itself to 1? Not, it's false. So again to the next element, 62 by minus 3, it's 59, is not equal to 3 itself, false. Next step is 62 minus 5 is equal to 57, which is not equal to 5, false. The same thing for element number 6. The same thing is for number 4. As you see, 62 minus 4 will make 58, which is not equal to 4. Again, at 6 steps, 62 minus 12 is equal to 50, which is not equal to 12 itself. Again, false. And at the 7th step, we see that 62 minus 31 is equal to 31. So it's equal to 31 itself. So here we will just put this 31 element and we will put it into one subarray, whereas other elements we will put into another subarray. And in function it will look like as following. So for example, split, I will call it split array. The passing argument will be just array itself. First of all, as I told you, I will need to calculate the sum of all elements in the array. I will do it by for loop. Variable I is for index. So each time I will increment sum with the element in the array. After that, I will need to declare two subarrays. One is for sum, which I will call like some element. The size of this array will be just 1, because I will just put the one element into this array, and another subarray will be like, I will call it others, and the size of this array will be the size of the main array minus 1. Because one element will go to the sum L array. Here again I will use for loop, but in this case I'm using for loop just to see if the subtracted result is equal to the element itself. When it will be equal, I will just put that element into the sum element subarray, and other elements I will just keep putting to the others subarray. So how it's gonna look like? So I will use if condition. First of all, I will need temporary variable to calculate the difference between numbers. So in temporary, I will calculate it following. I will just subtract the number from sum by element itself, and if my temporary variable is equal to element from an array itself, I will be sure that it's the sum of all elements. So in my case it's 31. So by using this if condition, I will catch this 31, and after that I will just put it my sub L subarray. Since there is just this subarray contains size of 1, I will use index as 0. For other elements, when this equation is not working, I will put all elements into others subarray, but in this case I need to define the index. Index variable, I will define it here like integer j starting from 0, and here I'll just increment it by 1 each time I will put one element into this subarray. So after this method I will have two subarrays. Time complexity of this function will be, so here I have a number of operations, here again I have a number of operations, so time complexity is n plus n, which will make 2n. So big O notation is 2n, and space complexity is, here I'm defining two subarrays, and the size of one is just 1, and the size of another is just n minus 1. So it will be just basically n plus n minus 1 n. So space complexity will be O(n) because I'm defining two new subarrays.